My name is Todd Gunther. I'm an investigator with the National Transportation Safety Board with the United States government. First of all, we'd like to offer our condolences to the friends and family of the victim of this tragic accident. The National Transportation Safety Board, along with the Federal Aviation Administration, is here to investigate the accident that occurred at the airport yesterday afternoon. What we know so far that is around 11:45, a 911 call was placed regarding an accident here at the airport. My team arrived last night at approximately 9 p.m. and we've been working since early this morning examining both the wreckage and the accident site. What we know so far about the accident itself is that the aircraft was doing what are called touch-and-go landings here at the airport. During one of the touch-and-go landings here, the aircraft appears to have touched down without the landing gear in the down position. Now, we've been out on the runway and we've surveyed the runway and we found 3 areas where the aircraft had touched down and the propeller of the aircraft had struck the pavement of the runway. Afterwards, the aircraft continued to climb out from the runway and ended up impacting just to the left of the center line of runway 10. A post-crash fire ensued, and unfortunately the gentleman on board was killed. Now, what we know so far about our examination of the aircraft is we've looked at the control system on the aircraft that controls the aircraft in both the pitch, yaw, and roll axes of the airplane, and we can find nothing wrong with those systems at this time. We've also looked at the structure of the aircraft, and we have no evidence of any type of structural failure. We also have no evidence of any type of in-flight fire or explosion on the airplane. We've also examined the engine, and the engine appears to have been rotating at the time of impact. We have evidence of the propeller rotating during the ground strike portion of the accident sequence itself, and we also have evidence of the propeller rotating when the aircraft came to rest. We also know there was fuel on board the aircraft. We've checked out the fuel system, and the fuel selector was selected to a tank that did have fuel on it. We also found fuel in the system going to the engine. Now, at this point, we're going to be on site here for the next couple days, and we'll be looking at such things as the weather conditions. We'll be looking at also the physiology of the pilot. We'll be looking at the airport operations. We'll be looking at the structure in depth. We'll also be looking at other portions of the aircraft once again. Now, what we've done is we've taken the aircraft, due to the weather conditions, we moved it to an indoor facility here at the airport, and it's currently secured so that our investigators can go ahead and examine it more thoroughly and in depth. And what we're currently doing is we're doing what's known as a 2D layout of the aircraft. In other words, we're taking the aircraft and we're laying it out exactly in the position that it was found, and with all the components that we've recovered in the places where they were mounted. Now, once we complete that exercise today, we'll also be looking at the maintenance records on the aircraft. We'll be looking at the pilot's log records, and at the same time, we're currently collecting witness interviews and video. Those will be reviewed by our specialists both here on scene and in Washington, D.C. Now, in approximately 7 to 10 days, once I return to Washington from this investigation, we'll be producing a preliminary report. That report will have the facts, conditions, and circumstances as we know it up to this point, and will be available publicly on our website at www.ntsb.gov. Then approximately 10 months to a year later, we will produce a factual report as part of this investigation, and associated with that will be a public docket of both photographs, data, and any information that we garnered during the investigation. Then approximately 30 to 60 days after that, the Safety Board, which is the 5 board members that are appointed by the President of the United States, will issue a statement of probable cause. Now, at any time during the investigation, if we find any evidence of anything that is of concern to us or the traveling public or the aviation industry in general, we can issue recommendations at any time. And with that, I have time for a few questions before we need to get back to work.
Did the aircraft depart from this location?
Yeah, the aircraft is based here at this field, and at the time that the accident occurred, it had been doing what we call touch-and-go landings, basically making circuits around the airport and landing and taking off again for numerous minutes. Right now, we believe it was approximately 30 minutes, maybe a little bit longer than that, and that's something we're looking into.
Why would a pilot be doing touch-and-go landings?